Hello and welcome to our fourth and last video in our series of Hiring Manager Portal videos. In this video, I'm going to look at how you can create an offer for the successful candidate. After the candidate has been successful at the interview and is at the proceed to offer stage, you need to update their status on your Hiring Manager dashboard. Select your successful candidate from the Action Required Interviews Awaiting an Outcome widget by clicking on the candidate's name. As you can see, pop-up window appears and there is an icon in the bottom right-hand side corner of this window. Click on it to view application. A new pop-up window appears with some personal details and other details about your successful candidate. In the bottom right-hand side corner of this screen, there is a Processes button. And if you click on it, you will then be able to see some options. Now remember, if you are using your screen in full screen mode, you will be immediately shown these options on the left hand side of your screen after you select your candidate. You won't see Processes button, so the process is simplified really. To continue, click on Proceed to Offer. Small pop-up window will inform you that the candidate has been successfully moved to Proceed to Offer stage. Now again, you will need to click on the Processes button. And again, if you are using your screen in full screen mode, you will not see this Processes button, but you will see these options on the left hand side immediately. To continue, click on Offers and Placements. And then click on Create Placement Now to start creating your offer for successful candidate. You can now start entering information that is required to create the offer for the successful candidate. If you are not able to move your candidate to proceed to offer stage immediately from Action Required Interviews Awaiting an Outcome widget, you can always come back to completing the Create Placement form at a later date. For example, if you need more information to complete the form, you can always do so by using Action Required Placements to be Created widget. In the upper right corner, in the section where it says Action Required Placements to be Created, click on the arrow to see the options in drop-down menu. Then, select the vacancy you want to place the candidate for. In our case, this will be Service Manager Independent Living. You will now see all vacancies that have candidates at the Proceed to Offer stage. Select the vacancy you want to place the candidate for by clicking on the vacancy title or vacancy ID number. We will select the vacancy Service Manager Independent Living with ID number 650. You can now again see the details of your vacancy. By using the scroll bar on the right hand side of your screen, you can see requisition details, salary and requirements. You can still see details of your advert, additional information, hiring team, and the status of your vacancy. You can still cancel your vacancy, put it on hold, or select No Longer Required if you no longer wish to work with this vacancy. But for now, we will scroll to the top of the page and select Work on this vacancy to see and select our successful candidate. In our case, this is candidate number 424, and in status you can see he is at the Proceed to Offer stage. If you want to sort the list of candidates by status order, you can do so by clicking on the Status column heading. This can be useful to group candidates by status if you have busy vacancy with large amount of candidates. If you click on the candidate number, you will see basic information about the candidate. You will see from here process is the same really as it was when we were creating the placement from action required, interviews awaiting an income widget. You will again need to click on the processes button, and again, if you are using your screen in full screen mode, you will not have processes button on the screen. You will see menu options on the right straight away. And then click on offers and placements, and then create placement now to start creating your offer for your successful applicant. You can now start entering information that is required to create the offer for the successful candidate. First, you will need to upload right-to-work documents. As the text on this page says, you don't need to complete this section if the successful candidate is currently a British Red Cross staff member. You also don't need to upload right-to-work documents for overseas roles. However, for those candidates in overseas roles, you will need to upload their passport. You need to upload 3 forms of identification. These must be signed and verified. If you require further guidance on what is accepted as ID, please refer to the link provided in this section here. For the purposes of this training, we will show how to upload one document. Use the scroll bar on the right to scroll up or down on the page. To start the process of loading your files, click on Upload Right-to-Work Document. You will then see this will open up a pop-up window where you can upload your files. Click on Select to select your files from your device. You can now select the file and confirm your selection by clicking on Open. To complete the process, click on Upload File. And what you will then see, your file will appear on the screen. The next section will only show if the role requires a criminal record check. Otherwise, it will be hidden. So, if the position requires a criminal record check, remember this is something you have already highlighted when creating a vacancy. In this case, we can see we will need PVG enhanced check for working with adults and children. You will need to review the statements below and select yes or no as required for the role. In this case, we will select yes because our candidate will be in direct contact with beneficiaries through Home from Hospital. You will then need to upload criminal record check documents, and to do that, just select Upload Criminal Record Check Documents and follow the same process as for loading right-to-work documents. So click on Select, find your file on your local drive, highlight the file, click on Open and confirm by clicking on Upload File. You will then see your file has been successfully uploaded. Next, you will need to enter the address where the position will be based in the fields provided and enter the details of the placements such as start date and start time. To select the start date, click on the calendar icon and select the date when you want your employee to start. To select the start time, click on the box next to the calendar icon and from the time picker select the time when you want your employee to start. You will also need to select yes or no. It depends whether this role is for an internal candidate. If you are not sure what is required from you, help is available in the form of these question mark icons. If you click on it, a pop-up window appears that will help you to complete your task. In our case, we will select yes, because our candidate is internal candidate. We will then be asked, as you can see in the field below, to provide the ID number for the employee. And we will also need to select yes or no if candidate's current role is to be protected for them to return to it. In our case, we will select no. You now need to enter salary details. As you can see, there already are some information about the approved salary for this vacancy. However, you will need to enter more information. First, select the minimum basic salary from the salary band drop-down menu. Hiring managers will need to select this only for levels 1A to 2B, retail and international. For levels 3 and above, there is no requirement for the salary to be on a step of the job level, so the hiring manager can enter the basic salary information into the free text basic salary field below. Salary type will default to yearly. However, it can be changed by clicking on this drop-down menu to hourly or daily, but we will just keep it yearly for now. Basic salary field will default to match salary band for levels 1A to 2B, retail and international, but can be entered manually for levels 3 and above. And then we need to type in weekly contractual hours. In our case, this will be 35 hours. Next, you need to select yes or no for Inner London waiting, as applicable. Our position is based in Dundee, which means Inner London waiting is not applicable. Enter any on-call allowance if applicable. And finally, enter total salary for this position. The total salary should consist of what was entered in the basic salary field plus Inner London waiting if applicable and the market supplement if applicable. In our example, the total salary is £21,831 as role is based in Dundee, so the Inner London waiting is not applicable and there is no market supplement for this role. Next is to add working pattern details. Select yes or no for night shift worker as applicable. In our case, we will select no. Then select type of working pattern from the drop-down menu. We will select regular. And finally, select working pattern in the drop-down menu. For us, this will be Monday to Friday, 7 hours per day. This field here below is not really mandatory. However, if this applies for your advertised vacancy, enter information here as well. We will leave it blank as it's not applicable in our case. Enter some additional information, such as will you be the reporting manager for this role? If you select no, you will need to provide the information on who will this role report to, but in our case, we will select yes here. You also need to select whether you wish to request any additional details to be added to this contract. If you select yes here, you will need to specify any details in the box below, but we will select no for now. From here, you can still cancel creation of your offer, save it as a draft or continue. We will select continue. If you want to add some comments for the resourcing team, you can add those in status comments box. If you want to start adding all information from the beginning, or this offer is no longer required, you can cancel or mark your offer as no longer required. To continue, click on Send to Recruitment Team. You can now see personal details of your selected candidate, but you can also see that placement approval is required by resourcing team. If you close this window, you will see your dashboard. Click on British Red Cross icon to go back to the main page. You might wonder what happens next. We have just sent the form to the resourcing team for approval. Once approved, the form is then sent to the onboarding team to begin their process. You can track which stage a candidate is at in the onboarding journey via the Candidate's Onboarding Status widget. Click on the drop-down arrow next to the number, and you will see some options. If you select Placement Approval Required, you will see the name of our candidate here. So we can see we have Joe Blocks for vacancy ID number 650. Let's go back to the main page. Once onboarding is complete, your candidate will be in Candidate's Onboarding Status in Onboarding Complete section. You can see details of your new starters in section Placements by Start Date. If you click on drop-down arrow next to the number, you will see 27th of July, which was the date for our new starter, if you remember. Click on it, and you will then be displayed information about the new starter. You will see that Joe Bloggs will start as Service Manager for Independent Living on 27th of July at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that's about it for this session. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it informative. Thanks for watching.